Whenever you're ready, over to you.
Yeah. Um, good afternoon, good morning to everyone. I'd like to welcome everyone to this Common Ground workshop, Ecofeminism in the Modern World Order. And I'm very glad to share few views of Nepal and few South Asian countries on ecofeminism project models. And I'd also like to thank Woodcraft Folks and my friend Connie to let me know about this initiative of sharing through workshops, which is why I got to join this sharing space as a workshop host. So I'm Arya, and I'm currently in Nepal, and I'm trying to work out ecofeminist project work models in Nepal amidst the pandemic and the crisis that's happening right now in Nepal. However, there are a lot of issues when it comes to ecofeminism because sometimes we have diverse varieties of ecofeminism, different branches of ecofeminism, which might get us a little confused in terms of what it actually is and how it actually empowers women. But from my past experience of working for few sustainable development organizations like Biogas Nepal and different women groups who take leadership in developing sustainable models, I have earned quite a few experiences which are very interesting as well as they are very novel in terms of their innovation and their invention. So I'd like to share Biogas Project Model, which is one of the ecofeminist model, uh, which is um, which has been developed in Nepal and in other South Asian countries and is doing pretty well. However, it has been slowing down due to a lot of people switching for a modern household and modern lifestyle. But I'd like to go deeper into biogas project model through this workshop. So I'd like to start with this. So I'll be talking about biogas technology. What actually is biogas program? What actually is biogas? How to create gas and electricity and clean energy and at the same time empower women through sustainable development? How can we benefit women by always, doing great to our environment? A lot of times, people have been asking me when they hear about these models that you are talking about ecofeminism, you're talking about ecofeminist models and ecofeminist ideas. However, always the ecofeminist ideas are seen to always place a burden on women more. But how can we create an environment of ecofeminist projects where we are equally benefiting both the groups, our society, our community, at the same time, women groups. So we will be talking about the biogas technology background, approach, planned cost, and financing. But I'll be mainly focusing on what actually are the challenges, major issues, and how are women impacted, and how have women transformed into another criteria of how they are empowering each other through this ecofeminist project model. So I'd like to start. What is actually biogas? Biogas is an organic material when subject to anaerobic fermentation. It creates a gas called biogas, and that's basically used for clean energy. That energy consists of 60 to 70% methane, which is anyway going to go to the ozone layer or our surroundings and our indoors as well. If the cow dung is being used indoors, like in rural parts of Nepal, the basic idea of using biogas is the cow dung, which rural area women are responsible for collecting, which is very sad that the women are responsible for doing all the household chores and collecting cow dung and all of that. But however, the cow dung that's being collected is always just not used in a proper way, which creates a lot of methane in indoors and outdoors, which is not good for human health. However, this methane has been transformed into creating electricity and creating clean cook stoves or healthy lives for women indoors who are cooking by wood, and they're cooking through sometimes even cow dung. So these are the women who are impacted by biogas plant model. And this is the idea of biogas, where cow dung is fed into the plant, and then the energy is generated from the plant in order to produce electricity, to produce clean cooking stove gas. And sometimes the toilet of the household is also linked to the plant, which is why our human waste, which also has certain percent of methane, is also linked to the plant, which creates even more electricity for the household. So they do not have to invest in purchasing electricity from the government. They also do not have to, you know, go and collect firewood, and they do not have to spend time in producing different forms of electricity throughout the night in rural parts of Nepal. So how does it work? So in Nepal, biogas is produced by cattle dung, especially cow dung, but there are different kinds of animals who have been tested for creating biogas plant, and that's been successful as well. And it's focused in traditional setup. However, we've been proven to set up biogas in different areas like hostels, where we can accumulate a lot of solid waste and we can manage them properly. And it is also possible to have community plants where everyone contributes through solid waste of their cattle, or maybe connecting their toilet pipelines, and they can produce electricity throughout the community by joint community effort. But I'll be coming to women empowerment part, which is my main focus in this. But before that, let's just see how the plant of biogas plant looks. The biogas plant is the one which is being shown in the picture, which is in the middle picture. This is the plant. The part which we can see, the hollow part which we can see, is used for putting the cow dung or feeding the cow dung in. And the spinning machine is supposed to be manually used by people to spin it so that the cow dung gets mixed in order to go in. And the mechanism that is being shown in the left side, the plant drawing, it works according to the system shown in the left in order to produce electricity. So as this workshop is mainly for ecofeminism and women, so I would not like to go into the technical details. And I'll also be sharing different documents, gender review documents, the plant technical issues and technicalities in different documents after the workshop ends. So people who are interested in technical issue and technical functioning of the plant can also refer to the documents that I'll be sharing later. So the biogas plant design in Nepal is, again, the drawing which was shown in the left side in the previous slide. It is basically a simpler version of that. There is an inlet where we will have to feed the cow dung in the inlet, and we'll have to spin it till it gets down into the digester, and through the gas storage dome and through the digester, the electricity is produced through the mechanism that has been developed in the outlet. And later, we also get the byproduct of the plant. So basically, let's not go into the PowerPoint presentation slide right now. So let's talk about what actually it is doing to the women in Nepal, Bangladesh, India, and different parts of South Asia, like Cambodia and other parts of South Asia, which requires women labor in rural households in order to generate electricity. So firstly, women are always affected by the clean energy issues, by sustainable development issues, by degrading environment, because they are the ones responsible for the household chores in rural parts of South Asia, which is really sad to acknowledge. However, these are the women who have to walk miles and miles just to collect a pot of water. And this is also happening due to environmental degradation, the climate change, and all of the issues that are intrinsically linked with environment. However, biogas plant establishment has created electricity, has created clean cooking stoves. The gas, which is methane, has been used in order to create a clean cook stove. The gas, which is methane that is coming out from the cow dung, is again used in order to produce electricity, which discourages women to go looking for firewood in the jungle. So the time which women and girls get while doing so have led them to have more free time in order for them to go to schools, in order for them to go and purchase books. They can go and apply for different leadership entrepreneurial activities in their community, which even the biogas project model people have been encouraging. So I'd like to I'd like to highlight on women health again, because the women who spend all of their time in the indoors while doing their household chores, while using the wood they collected from the jungle the whole day, these are the women who have 80 to 90% chances of lung cancer. They have some sort of lung disorder due to the smoke, due to the gas they're using in their kitchen. And these women are so occupied by the household chores and the clean energy issues that they have to go miles and miles searching for firewood, searching for cow dung, searching for a lot of various resources in order to cook their food. What biogas has done is, once they feed the cow dung into the plant, of course, when they buy a cow, which is again subsidized by the government or the organizations that are there in the South Asian countries. So these are the women who do not have to step out to collect fodder, to collect wood, and they have to, and their spare time they can spend in doing entrepreneurial activities, as creating a dish or creating a pickle which they can sell, or they can do community gatherings and community entrepreneurship activities like making a purse out of sustainable material, creating sanitary items for other women. Again, women-led activities that is benefiting other women. So these are the activities and these are the general issues that is being touched upon by the clean energy, which is biogas program. And this program has been slowing down a lot in Nepal due to a lot of people opting for modern household, opting for electricity, hydro generated electricity, and a lot of women not wanting to, cook in um, the clean cook stove gas, which is again produced from the cow dung due to orthodox belief, as cow dung is considered a waste, and any energy generated from the waste should not be entering the kitchen where we are supposed to be creating our food. So these are the preconceptions and orthodox mentality sometimes interfering with people not to choose the clean energy. However, as we are discussing about biogas, it is not just impacting the women who are always indoors, who are supposed to collect firewood, who are not having any time for them to do anything, any entrepreneurial activities for themselves, no financial independence. So these are the women who have a chance to stay back and reflect on their free time, to do something on their own, earn on their own, and spend the money that they have. They have the financial authority, the financial independence that enables them to do something in their life which they never were encouraged to, which they never had an option to. So that has been one factor that has been affecting women. But again, coming to women health, women having lung cancer, lung disorder, and a lot of other issues due to the firewood, and a lot of cases, women are also using cow dung directly in their indoors. some women, they're using a lot of different methods to cook their rice, their dal, their vegetables. It is truly a tragic situation in rural areas of Nepal and other South Asian countries. This issue has been solved by maybe eco-feminist projects like Biogas, who is partnering with Clean Cook Stoves in making a clean cook stove by using the same gas produced for electricity and joining the pipeline from the biogas to the kitchen. And they have a clean cook stove which is run thoroughly by methane gas, which is not interfering completely with their lungs, as the smoke and the poisonous gases that were produced before did to the women. So this is the overall picture of what life is like in rural areas of Nepal and in South Asian countries, and how clean energy can help women empower themselves. The fact that women are supposed to only go to education or only opt for education because they have free time is very sad. But however, when we are dealing with rural areas of Nepal and rural areas of other South Asian countries, what we need to also understand is directly seeking for a transition would be unrealistic and wouldn't be accepted by the society and social culture there. There are a lot of systems like Taupadi and which makes women step out of their house and spend their time, the time when they're going through menstruation, out of their house in a very unhygienic area because they are considered impure. So these are the issues we need to deal with in a very intense yet very careful manner, because it can be tricky when you're trying to convince the people there. They will sometimes try to oppose you because of the difference of different difference of the exposure of scientific knowledge, exposure to maybe education, exposure to a lot of things which are which we get. For example, the students and young people of capital areas or maybe the metropolitan cities, they are exposed to education, but not just education, to social media, to their peer groups, to their teachers who encourage the habit of maybe learning something new, or maybe they're exposed to the clean energy benefits, they're exposed to the scientific learning, logical thinking. However, sometimes in rural area, when we go there, the rural area has been disconnected with the metropolitan cities for centuries, for decades now, because of the transportation problem. Because there are so many areas which are hilly and high, and they're falling in mountain region, which is why they're inaccessible. So we can just imagine the exposure, the level of facility, the level of logical thinking that hasn't reached there yet. Even Wi-Fi and telecommunication is a dream in these areas. So how we need to start would be a great question. But the eco-feminist models like this, which can directly benefit them and they can see the benefit, are projects that can be more convincing, and projects that can help them be convinced in future as well for other development activities. But talking about biogas, you can see the women there being very happy in order to cook in a clean cook stove. And this is life without biogas. She's very happy. She's happy in while cooking. I'm sorry, she does not have a clean cook stove yet because this is life without biogas. But she's looking very happy, and you can see the women there in the topmost left picture. They're carrying the fodder. They're carrying wood, and it's a very labor centric job to carry the wood, carry fodder from mountain regions, hilly regions till their house, and to collect water far away from their house, dedicating their whole life to family, dedicating their whole life to collecting wood, to collecting water, all this for a sustainable house, all this for clean energy, all this for just cooking a meal, is something which is really, really tragic and really needs to be worked upon. So this is life without biogas, but I'd like to move on to another slide, which is life with biogas. So the stove, which we can see right now, the woman, she's cooking in the stove, which is called clean cooking stove. That is a big transformation. For us, it might be a very small difference to see that simple stove compared to the mud made stove. But however, the mud made stove used fodder that created smoke, that created many lung disorders, and even sometimes lung cancer. Always women were in verge of getting lung cancer and lung related diseases due to that um, mud made stove. And that compared to this is a great transition. Even if we cannot make out through the picture, it is a great transition. So this stove, when it's being used, we as when I was interning with biogas, we conducted a survey, and there was a slight decrease in the indoor in-house gases of um, containing different poisonous harmful materials, and also it benefited the health of women. It also enabled a lot of women to breathe freely while cooking. Not that we are encouraging women to cook, but again, considering the ruler framework, we need to go step by step. So as we can give greater outcome, they are going to believe and cooperate with us even more. So this is the picture of women after biogas has been established in their house, and subsidies is being provided for cow purchase and for biogas plant establishment. And the stove which is being used is also a clean cook stove. So this is how the life has been impacted instantly, but the deeper layers are yet to come. So again, referring to the slide, it's not just environmental benefits, but it's also socio-economic benefits, and it's also to do with women health. So bioslurry and biocompost that I was talking about, while we put the cow dung in the plant generates electricity, but it also produces byproduct or waste product out of the plant, which is called slurry. So that slurry is again another very important part of biogas plant. That slurry can be used for women entrepreneurs who are doing fish farming, and can be used to feed the fish. That byproduct coming out as a waste product from the biogas plant can also be used for feeding the pigs, for feeding the goat, and also as a great organic fertilizer for women in farming. So these are the women who are encouraged in their community after purchase of a biogas plant or setup of biogas plant through a subsidy by government, through organization subsidy, and all of that. These are the women who have clean energy, who have time to send their daughters not to collect firewood, but to schools. And these are the women who have time to do entrepreneurial activities. And what kind of entrepreneurial activities? They have a lot of choices, because those byproducts from the plant, those byproducts from the plant can be used for, animal farming, and, even vegetable farming. And also, when I was interning, I was part of the survey that was done on the plants. Half of the plants which were fed biogas byproduct or waste product, to be precise, and the plants which were given regular pesticides and insecticides, which are chemical in nature. The survey conducted again proved the plants which were fed with the biogas slurry or the waste product coming out of the biogas plant to be more healthier, taller, and produce a lot of fruits. So the byproducts were also tested on animals and fishes that were fed with the biogas slurry. And again, there was a positive result in the weight and the composition of the fish and pig. So clearly it is not just an organic material or organic organic project, creating organic fertilizer, creating clean energy and all of that. It is a lot to do with women health, because women in rural areas, they tend to not visit doctors until and unless there is a larger complication. And even if they do not have access to a great doctor, great health facilities, because a great doctors are always positioned in metropolitan areas where they are paid a lot. In rural areas, you only find a nurse, a government nurse, and usually with very less supply of immediate medicines, like immediate snake bite medicine, and immediate maybe sometimes maternal condition, sometimes dealing with maternal conditions and all of that, which also still might not be sufficient. However, women health, while providing a clean energy, while not having to go and collect firewood, while having to make food in a very clean and green environment, at the same time, having plenty of time for themselves, having plenty of time to do entrepreneurial activities, and to contribute and be equal partner in the house and contribute in the house financially, and also to have that ownership, have that power to spend on themselves, to have that authority of money and finance, is something that really has been encouraged by eco-feminist projects like biogas. So I'd like to move on to another slide. So as we've seen these slides, I'm just trying to move on to another slide. Um, this is the actual depiction of a biogas plant being used by women. So she's actually spinning the biogas plant right now. I can also see one message which I'm unable to access right now while I'm trying to screen share. Uh, And this is actually women working with the biogas plant, spinning the biogas model. And the vegetables we can see there are actually the vegetables that she is commercially farming, and she uses the biogas byproduct in order to provide the plants with organic fertilizers, which we can see on the rightmost side of her garden, rightmost side of the picture in the slide. So this is a picture when I was interning with the organization. This is a picture which actually depicts what actually biogas is, and the activities that women are doing after the establishment of biogas plant in the community. So this was one of the picture which was selected from the competition conducted in the community, rural area community, of the people who actually adopted biogas plant, and the competition was conducted within the girl group of the community. So which is again to do a lot with women and girl empowerment. As we already have discussed a lot of benefits of biogas and bioslurry, we have focused a lot on women. However, it is also very crucial to our globe today, because a lot of people have been denying climate change and crisis caused by climate change, environmental disasters. However, the problem is denial. At the same time, the problem is also not taking action, even though we know climate change is the reason, we do not know how to move forward. So I think eco-feminist projects like this, that again, referring to the slide that reduces druggery like time and energy. It saves kerosene purchase. It saves firewood, which is again another crucial factor for us to ensure our environment to be in a good state. A lot of people have been using furniture and firewood and chopping off jungles just to make a road or maybe for commercial projects, but then we are also facing the repercussions of it. So biogas plant may be a very small plant or household plant that women-led communities can adopt in their house. However, it makes a great impact. It is a small step in a large ocean. But however, I think if everyone starts to innovate some sort of ecofeminist projects as this, that will not just empower our women, which is a crucial factor, a crucial challenge in our today's modern world. It will also solve sustainable development goals, and together we all can we all can lead this intersectional movement of women empowerment at the same time, helping the environment breathe and helping the environment and nature at a greater level. Again, saving firewood, agro waste, and dung, improved health, improved children's education, self-esteem. Use of bioslurry and biocompost improves agricultural yield and reduces fertilizers. A lot of times, the vegetables we purchase from the market are not organic, and it has a lot of repercussions on women health, on children health, on communities health, on nations health. But however, small projects as this that encourages entrepreneurship activities, encourages leadership, education, clean energy, and prevents the methane that's anyway going to go into the environment by utilizing the methane in order to produce a clean gas, in order to produce electricity, is something which really needs attention. And this project and projects like this, they haven't gotten the light that it needs to get in, even in South Asian countries and even in different parts of the globe. In my previous workshop that I held in Brussels, when I was part of the Agora summer camp, when I was talking about the ecofeminism, we learned a lot from each other. And what we came to know is, even in Europe and other parts of the globe, we are unaware about the ecofeminist project models, which can help different sectors of the society. Different sectors of the society. I just admitted one person in, so sorry for the disruption. Uh, so moving on to another slide, I'd like to move on to another slide. So as we discussed, even sometimes we can connect the toilet pipelines and the biogas plant together for producing more methane, producing more gases that helps us create electricity. So in that case, I think we can also say that we are impacting solid waste management. We are impacting solid waste management, clean energy, clean cook stoves, women health, women entrepreneurship, education, all at the same time. I feel there needs to be a lot of other projects, ecofeminist projects, which can be uh, use of materials, products like makeup, women-related sanitary items, which are environment friendly. And these entrepreneurial activities and these women-led activities can be coming from women themselves, but not at a commercial level, not at a level where you want to sell it to the public by making them making them demand it, but making a product that can satisfy all the women groups, all the girls, because it's their necessity, not as a demand, but as a necessity item, which is tax-free again, where government makes it tax-free and provides permission for these women-led leaders to come together, provides platform for these women-led communities to come together and discuss their innovation and ideas, and maybe sometimes fund them, give them awards, and make them develop certain ecofeminist ideas, which can again relate to or co-work or coexist with ecofeminist models like biogas. So these can be a greater in a greater picture, these can be smaller steps that a community and household can take. But however, I can't stress enough the importance of small steps being taken in our modern day global world order, where a lot of leaders and a lot of political figures sometimes they are denying the fact that climate change even exists. So the key program elements of biogas is how we can generate subsidy for the plant. So we require more women leaders, more women advocates talking together with each other in order to formulate policies, in order to formulate movements, in order to formulate rallies, so that that can have an impact in the government to subsidize the plant, to subsidize the purchase of cow or subsidize the purchase of animals, just to support the biogas plant establishment of women-led household. So that can be a very crucial issue that we women, as we have exposure and we have certain kind of exposure and the platform to connect with each other, can advocate for, because the women who are living in rural areas, they still do not have Wi-Fi, education, and connection to our world. So it's, I think, our responsibility in platforms like this, in workshops like this, to take up this issue, advocate for the subsidy plan policy, advocate for government to subsidize at least half or maybe few percentage of the establishment of biogas plant, the purchase of animals, and the whole idea of women-led entrepreneurial activities and ecofeminist models like this, which also impacts the environment. So the standardization and quality assurance, however, when we establish a plant, there also needs to be a body that needs to ensure the quality, ensure that everything is going fine, ensure and take surveys of the indoor house gases, the health of women by frequent checkup of the women health, and also by comparing the biogas byproduct plants with the ones which do not have biogas byproducts, with the fish farming which uses biogas byproduct, but the fish farming that doesn't. So there needs to be a whole lot of mechanism, lot of people, whole lot of technical uh, women, or women allies who would be part of this, and if they would advocate for that, that would be another crucial step for biogas plant. It is not just about the establishment, it is about the continuation of the process, how we deal with it, how the quality of biogas plant is in different areas, and if it's the same quality, if the women and children, they're getting the right outcome and right goals have been fulfilled through our initiative, is another chapter, another level of our ecofeminist model. It's not just about the establishment. And so capacity building, which is again awareness building, training through skits, through social events, social programs, by making the women students or girls from metropolitan areas who understand about this energy more, can maybe go into the rural areas, and through social skits, through television programs, through anything which is accessible to the rural areas and sounds more convincing, we can try to try to make a skit, an awareness event, or maybe a logical explanation which fits their beliefs, which do not have any which do not hamper their beliefs, the religious beliefs and ideas. Carefully, the metropolitan areas and the people who are from different countries, who understand the clean energy better, can definitely go and try to solve the issues of rural area women, rural areas by having a dialogue, having skits, having awareness programs. The idea is not just establishment. The idea goes before the establishment, in convincing, in explaining, in understanding their setup, in conducting surveys before and after the project, and considering a lot of various other stuffs like credit financing, like bank, the awareness of having a bank account, having their credit, having their card, having their technology, like for example, telephone, mobile, in areas which are still inaccessible to the capital city, can be something which we can all work on. So the idea is not just the feminist project work model, but the different issues that comes up with it. So to deal with one at each time, or maybe have different players connected together, like through this workshop, maybe a lot of different players who might be gender advocate, who might be policy makers, who might be decision makers, who might be women leaders, who might be in politics. They all can come together and form a body in propagating this issue, in propagating, acknowledging each issue, um, which helps us to move forward with this project model and its goals. So the program objective of biogas plant is basically to ensure that there is social inclusion, because a lot of times what happens is women are in rural areas are not just discriminated because they are women. They have to go through multiple layers of discrimination. For example, there are Dalit women who are considered to be belonging to lower class in society. Dalit women, men, children, all are discriminated. However, Dalit women they have to go through discrimination at various levels, at their own house, at their own community, at the same time in the society, just because they are Dalit. There might be different women groups in existing in the society who might be working, who might be doing entrepreneurial activities, and they might have to go through discrimination at their workplace. They might have to go through discrimination because they are seen as a tool of double labor, because they are doing everything in the house, and now because they are doing entrepreneurial activities, they are responsible for doing both labors, um, which is also not what we as women actually would want. The balanced environment, balanced way, balanced um, functionality of how women would want to work in their own terms and conditions, equal pay, and the caste, creed, religion discrimination to the society members, especially to women, because they are again discriminated in their house, community, society, through different set of rules, to different set of seclusion during Chaupadi like Pratha, where girls are sent out of their house during menstruation. And there are different mechanisms how women are discriminated in ways which are indirect, would be through not providing education, by the reason that they have to collect fodderwood for the household to continue. But these are the reasons that we are about to break through ecofeminist projects like biogas. If the reason of collecting firewood, if the reason of collecting maybe water, or different, or sanitation is the issue, then ecofeminist project that entails it all helps us to go towards social inclusion. So there are different layers of discrimination and different layers that women go through and they have to fight through. And these all are supposed to be surveyed on, studied on, before we go and take adverse steps. So I think little steps in order to make them convinced, little steps in order to make them believe in a feminist model, which not just helps them but their family, community, and country, would be something that even the society, which does not considering the women, but the society would be more acceptable of. So that is one. But however, I'd again like to stress the importance that needs to be provided to the commercialization that can happen through projects like this. And again, I'd like to say that commercialization is something which we should not let interfere with models like this that's impacting a lot of areas in rural areas, in lives of women, in clean energy, and society as a whole. So I think commercialization is something that we need to discourage, and for that we need to ensure gender advocates, gender leaders, and maybe we need to empower the women themselves to have their voice of their own, and a lot of exposure, education, exchange programs, access to different programs and issues in the country, in metropolitan areas, in capital, or maybe abroad, can help them facilitate another workshop that they can conduct when they go back home. So I think the women themselves can be empowered. The women themselves can conduct an entrepreneurial activity, community-led activity. Again, knowing the importance of sustainable materials, knowing the importance of organic materials, knowing the importance of not using anything which is to do with animal cruelty, anything to do with commercialization, anything to do with something that hampers the environment would be the main priority. So I think to ensure all that, that is very crucial, but at the same time, it's difficult. And this is just a project that I volunteered for, and it's not properly working nowadays. And because I am a Women Deliver Young Leader 2020 right now, and I'm in Nepal right now. So I'd love to work more on this project, and I've been trying to find ways to find funds and funds and maybe donors to facilitate this project, especially in Nepal, because I'm actually here, located here in Nepal. So if there is any fund and donor support, I'd be getting. I then update the the woodcraft fox, and so these are the issues that I'd like to work on, and I'm not currently working on, because this is not the project has not been set up yet, but I'm trying to figure out ways in order to register an organization and then apply for funds and donor support to just make this work in rural areas of Nepal at the beginning. But however, my dream is to also incorporate biogas plant through toilet waste and solid waste management system, or clubbed with rainwater harvesting and all of the other environmental factors, like water purifiers, and maybe the waste, the segregation of wastes that we are not aware of even in urban areas of Nepal. So I think those are the issues that I'd like to again take up with the biogas program in urban areas as well. Even though we do not have cattle in urban areas, or most households, they do not put like cow as, they do not have cow as their pets, and like they do not have cow as their business, like they do not have cattle farming. But I think toilet waste management can be the supplement for the same solid waste that generates electricity and biogas in urban areas. So I think these are the projects that I'm currently trying to work on, so that it gets established again in Nepal through the efforts of young people as us. And if there is any development, then I'll definitely let the woodcraft folks know about it, so that we all together can join this initiative and do something in our own countries through project models as this. The women who are free due to the clean energy and the no need to go and collect the firewood from jungle. These are the women who are again developing very sustainable initiatives, as purse making, which has a whole lot of organic materials being weaved into the purse, and different initiatives which I think is not getting that much of competitiveness in the market, which promotes more of animal fur, more of products which have brandings, but at the same time is very harmful to the environment. So I think for a standing of initiatives led by women entrepreneurs who, as a result of biogas plant, again an ecofeminist model, have time to develop certain kind of projects that empowers themselves financially, these are the women we need to encourage. And due to the commercialization in the market and the market penetration being very hard these days, I feel these are the women who are not getting the market penetration, or these are the women who are not being acknowledged, but at the same time they're not getting that much of benefit from the marketplace, or they're not making that much money from the projects that they've initiated, which is again leading them to a discouragement from ecofeminist projects as such. So our idea, through my idea through this workshop, is we who are connected through this workshop should come up with something that encourages women who have come up to be convinced, who were convinced in order to do something of their own for their own financial good, who are convinced to adopt biogas plant model for their own financial good and for their own health. So these are the women we need to encourage and be connected with. And the problem of connecting with them is they live in very inaccessible places where Wi-Fi and all of these issues are a Wi-Fi problem, and all of these issues exist. So together with government, together with political leaders, together with people who, mayors who are responsible to work on the road building projects till from capital to their place, I think we can take smaller steps as this, but it again leads us to bigger issues, bigger and bigger issues, which are intrinsically linked to again establishment of ecofeminist projects as biogas. So even personally speaking, we don't know where to start from. I don't know where to start from, but there is hope, because projects as this, if encouraged, we can take smaller steps, and then we can again combine and reflect on our steps so that we can take bigger steps at once in near future. So again, moving on to another slide, we've already talked about a lot of our outputs and a lot of benefits of biogas plant. However, let's just refer to the slide again so that I can in detail refer to all the outputs of biogas plant, so the other ecofeminist projects. And the goal is to eradicate extreme poverty, achieve universal primary education, promote gender women equality, and reduce child mortality because of women health, and also because of the indoor poisonous gases. And with this, I think I'd like to wrap up my workshop, which talks about a lot of goals, which is to improve maternal health, combat HIV, AIDS, malaria, and other diseases through clean energy, ensure environmental sustainability, develop a global partnership for development. And through biogas plant kind of models, we can definitely make world a better place, but at the same time empower our women. And with this, I, Arya Mananda, would like to say thank you for joining this workshop. And if there's anything you would want to further read on ecofeminism and biogas, then I'd be sharing the essential materials with the Woodcraft Falls, so they can send it to you, or maybe you can search it on their website. And I'd like to thank the Woodcraft Falls for providing me opportunity again. Once again, I'd like to thank Woodcraft Falls and my friend Connie. And thank you. With this, I'd like to wish you all to have a good day. So thank you. And I'd like to stop here.